That's what I believe. So people talk, say it works not working. You gotta do something. All right to grow before you walk. All right to walk before you run. But you never can gotta do something. This mercy multiply. Cannot be denied. If you finally certified, supposed to help change the mind. He won't bless you not one. Go get it. Go get it. Go get it. Go get
Good Sunday morning, grand rising, God's morning to you. Hello, hello, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Yeah, I know it's like Sunday afternoon, right? 1:10. We're gonna do what we do. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do what we do. This is World of Alkebulan Inspirational Sunday. I am a Jada African. We talking about the rise of the African within you, our social media Pan African movement, where we are bringing Black minds, Black consciousness, Black bodies together to be exactly who we were called to be on this planet. All right, one love with that. One love. I'm over here stirring my tea today. Yes, yes. Go get your blessing. And this is where we at. We trying to get this. We are gathering to get this blessing. This is a new experience. We have kids who have in that back the school moment. Wait, I don't even have my picture in here. Let's get this. There we go. Uh, in that back to school. It is September. It is the I guess what the sec yeah, it's the first week, right? The 10th. We going into the second week of September, and we are going back to the classroom. Some of us are elementary school moving up. Some of us are going to high school. Some of us are now back to school inside of middle school, high school, and college. We have a couple of new college students in our community, and we have a few grad school students, and that's real. And so everybody's coming out of the summertime, walking into their back to school moment to see where we are. I'm doing some technical difficulty. I had some technical issues over here that I'm fixing real quick, and I got it. And so even though summertime takes over, like when summertime comes, school is not there. However, we here at the Alkebulan know that class is always in session. This is not about the academics of the school year in terms of what you're learning inside the institutions that you go to that we don't control. Now, we do have some deeply Afrocentric African spiritual schools. Those will tell you, class is always in session. Class is always in session. And why? Because life is a learning experience. And so class never ends. The only thing that ends is the school at the whatever city, state, country you in. Those classes may stop according to what the government wants you to learn. But in terms of what God wants you to do in terms of development and growth, those classes never end. So class is always in session. Always in session. There's always an opportunity to learn about your greater self. Is to learn to improve, to learn the growth, learn about the things you don't like, learn about how to connect to people, learn about your new talents, your gifts, you know what I mean, your attributes, learn about your character, you learn how to understand how to continue to achieve your goals. Class is always in session. I'm gonna speak to my soul daughter, and she's in the process of getting back into college. It been in the journey, but she will be able to testify. It doesn't matter where you at in your life. That learning about mastering yourself is always in process. We may ignore the process. We may ignore it, but it is always there. It's always happening. It's always developing. It's always coming. Now, today we are talking about preparing for your fall. Mm, preparing for your fall. Now, if you read this without seeing the picture, right? And you're preparing for your fall. You read this and you're not seeing your picture. You're preparing for your fall. You think, hey, what do you mean? You mean me falling down? And so that is one way to look at it, but that's not the way that we want you to look at it. It's not necessarily that process. Preparing for your fall, which is a season. We talking about a season. Falling into an experience of a season. And so we use in the scripture today Isaiah 43:19. Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? I will make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. Now we can break this scripture down before we continue with an understanding of the fact that we are preparing you for your fall. The creator is always in the process of doing something new in your life. Your ancestors are always in the process of helping you experience a newer you, a more profound you. And here's the question. It springs forth. It's happening. It's happening. Change is happening. Do you perceive it? Can you allow the thoughts in your mind to see what's happening? Can you allow the thoughts in your mind to get a clue of what's going on? Can you allow that in your mind? And so if you can't perceive it, then that means, of course, you're not focusing on that greater experience of who you are and what you're doing. what you're achieving. It's a whole, it's, and so we're trying to get you to always perceive what the creator is doing in your life. When he says, I will make a way in the wilderness, that means you go into a wilderness, there's no road to go, there's nowhere to travel, there's no, you're looking for a route, a highway, a direction. He says, I'm going to show you the direction when there's nothing but trees where you can't see anything. Then I'm going to give rivers in the desert. You ever seen a picture of a desert? I should have a picture of a desert where there's no water. But I'm going to put rivers in places that are not. You're never going to be without water, which is like oxygen and water, the source of life. Mm. You can live without food. You cannot live without water. Make that something. You take that water away, you die faster without water than you will dying without food. You know. And so this is definitely dealing with, again, the season of change. The scripture talks about change, preparing for your fall. So it's a different season in our calendar. And so atmospherically, we have winter, spring, summer, fall. And so where there is change on the same tree, there are different experiences that it goes through. And each time it cycles around within the experience, that tree changes. It's the same tree, but it's not the same tree. They said if you ever cut you see a large tree and you see the base of the tree, you cut a tree off. On that tree stump, you'll see circles in the tree stump when they cut a tree. Next time you see a cut down tree, look at it and look to see if you see the circles. Those circles will tell you how long that tree has been there. Each ring is a year. So it grows, that tree, it grows wider and wider in that base. It is the same tree, but yet it is a different experience each time. And so we're walking, and then let's get this. There are seasons within seasons. And now so you see seasons within. So we're talking about internal seasons. We're not necessarily completely talking about atmospheric seasons. Because the atmospheric seasons do affect your internal seasons sometimes. How you perceive the atmospheric seasons will talk about how you perceive the internal seasons. And if you can't understand what's happening around you, you can't, man, it's hard to understand what's happening inside you. And so there's seasons, the atmospheric inside seasons. I'm a season with inside the season. So like if in farming, you have harvest season, right? And so that harvest season has a month, a year, a date, a time, and if you be careful that certain vegetables only grows a certain, around a particular period of time. And so in that season, and you have planting season, which is in a season. Some things can be planted in the wintertime, some things can be planted in the summertime, some things have to be planted in the spring. So the spring is the season. Now planting season is in the spring season or planting season. And then you got harvest season where you pull out of the earth what comes out of the growth of what you've planted. Fertilization is a process in a season. And then watching things grow. This whole thing is about seasons, a season within a season. So this, when we're talking about a preparing for your fall, we're dealing with something within. We're dealing with levels, A level or the A level, right? We're dealing with the book that she's holding is the book in wisdom and knowledge of self. She's trying to understand who she is so she can manifest the grade A as she moves down to each level. Like you go from class, so in school that you're going from preschool to kindergarten to first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, all right, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, all the way up to 12th grade, graduate, go to college, you get a master's degree, you get a doctor's degree, and you keep going back, master's, doctor's. So you get a bunch of master's and doctor's degrees, right? Now, what is your grade? as you go. How good are you at studying what you are called to do and be, to be and do first? Levels. And so in this level, we're talking about it in preparing for your fall. And it's your fall season, not to fall down, not to lose footing and get hurt, but for change. The fall of growth, the fall of transition. We're talking about going deeper. It's a fall that is a deeper dive in the understanding of who you are. God said, I'm doing something new deep inside you, and it's going to come to the top. But before you understand what God is doing new with you in this new season, this fall season, I am preparing for my fall. You have to dive deeper within inside yourself. Now, I can sit down and say, I don't know what was happening in my winter. I can't tell you what was happening in my spring. And I was struggling in my summer. Real talk. And I had assignments, and I was doing assignments, achieving assignments, progressing in assignments, but there was a certain level of strength that I lacked until I slowed down enough to realize that God is working with me on my breakthrough for my seasons, my fall season. So in this season, I'm having a breakthrough. In this season, I'm going to help you with your breakthrough. We are going to fall deeper into understanding who we are as we move towards the holidays are coming. Yeah, the holidays, that journey where we as a community go deeper for a period of months. And for us it starts in October. So we got a month to prepare for our what we call is of course our anniversary month, but then within our anniversary month, we call it our holy season, where we are doing as a community deeper dives all the way to Pentecost. And y'all know Pentecost is my favorite season. And so these are the breakthroughs. We are this season as you go back to school, or some people got new jobs, or even if you don't have a job and you're not in school and parents, you're just working, this is still fall season. That season of change, the season of transition in September. The weather's going to change, the sun's going to change, the time is going to change, how we dress is going to change. We in that season. It's a transition. September does it. And so what we're talking about as we saying going deeper, we're talking about our level of consciousness. Mm. We are talking about how you think. Now, I need that to marinate. How you think. We're talking about going deeper, falling deeper with inside yourself to understand the God within you, to understand how you operate with the God around you, to understand the purpose of the world, your purpose of the world that you're in and the situations you're going through. This new class, these new friends, these new clothes, this polish, you walking in, this studying. It's time for us to realize that this is a journey of consciousness. And everybody is in the same season right now. Fall. Falling deeper in to you. Everybody has that season. And so when we talk about consciousness, it is definitely what you see when you see yourself in the mirror. What you see, what happens when people see you. How you display who you are in the situations and circumstances in which you live in. Seasons. Seasons. And so that perception. And so understanding that we are, and this is, we talk about this, we are nothing but pure consciousness. We are cosmic energy and creative intelligence inside our physical bodies. Your mind, your imagination, your thinking, your brain is the most powerful tool that man has ever seen. The human brain is the most powerful tool so far. We haven't even tapped into the fullness of it, what it is. And that's why these seasons help you. We talk about it to go deeper so you can understand what you are a manifestation of so that you can be great. And if you see it, it ain't about your age. You don't have to be an old lion to be a lion. You don't have to be a particular age to walk as a king, king of life. The jungle is life. So king of the jungle, the king of life, of your life. That depends on your state of consciousness. Okay, Jay, so we're going to go deeper into understanding what consciousness is. Cosmic energy and creative intelligence. That's our perception of God. God is cosmic energy and creative intelligence. It's not a human being, not a man. It is a field of divine power and intelligence. That's the only way you can be in all places, everywhere. It's the only way that you can connect to everything. And we are manifestations of that consciousness. So I have to break it down to understand that how your consciousness, the whole universal consciousness created individual consciousness of each of us. Meaning the creative, intelligent power of energy and consciousness that is God said, I want to create smaller versions of me and make them physical. So let me create a universe that can transition spiritual and cosmic energy and intelligence into physical beings. Mm, ain't that something? You are a manifestation of cosmic energy and creative intelligence transformed into a physical being. That's why your imagination grows wild and your intelligence is there. It is the most beautiful thing. God said, let us create man in our own image. And man doesn't mean male, it means a species of a being we're going to call mankind, a human being. Let us create him in our image. So the second part of understanding that everything comes from this one field of divine consciousness and energy. One, it says that it did that to experience itself. God said, I want to know the greater experience of me by manifesting and creating fractions of me in the world where they have their experiences. So it's experiencing itself from different perspective in which each one of us create the life we experience. We are God having an experience with itself. That is the oneness of all things. That's why we can't live without oxygen. It is a manifest. It's he connected everything. And certain trees can't live without carbon dioxide. What we blow out. It is one consciousness that maintains itself. When you look around, you're seeing the experience of God. Mm. And in this fall season, you're falling deeper into that understanding that I am a fraction of God's consciousness, and I'm going to be and do and create something in this life so God can experience life through me. Wow. And you can experience God through life. Wow. It is an interconnected experience. And that is the power of spirituality, faith, and religion. Most of the time, they don't talk to you about that. But it is the interwoven connection of life and how we share and magnify that one grand level of consciousness. Can you see God in all things? And then he puts you through an experience where you're struggling and you're going through certain things. But what it is knowing that you are connected to something greater than just you. This fall season, we are falling into a deeper awareness of who we are. This is why this holiday is going to be better and different, more powerful, because we talk about this all. This is what we talk about all the time. I've been talking about this, man, since I joined the church back in 20 plus years, 25, like 28 years ago. hmm And the PAOCC is in their 70th year. And we've been getting black people to understand who they are in God. That's what life is about. And so as we go deeper, we said that this, let me get this up so y'all can see it. We're preparing for our fall season. Preparing for our fall. Because the season is changing, everything is transitioning, and we are preparing to go deeper inside. Why? Because God commands us to always. You need to know yourself. I want you to know who you are. I want you to know whose you are. I want you to know why you're here. Who you are, whose you are, why you're here. And how are you going to treat and connect with all the other things that God creates, preparing you for your fall. Now, people sit down and say, I got haters, they trying to watch me fall. And then I would sit down and say, watch me fall. Watch me fall deeper into my understanding of who I am and how great I'm seeking to be. Why? Because to know yourself is to understand. He said, hey, let us make man in our image. Let us make man a physical version of spiritual energy. Every child who is a child of God is a physical version of spiritual energy. That's exactly who you are, a physical version of spiritual. Now, how you produce this energy inside you is up to you. You get to make that decision. So you can sit down and you can continue to get older, yet you don't see yourself as being grown. You don't see yourself as being developed. You don't see yourself as being powerful. You still see yourself as a kid. Sometimes you got to get away from those. Now, look at the difference between the two. Which pitchers prepared for their fall, their change, their transition, their growth, falling deeper into the concept of knowing who they are? Which image is the most powerful image? One is negative and one is positive. You have an old lion that sees himself as an infant. That's not what I want to be. I want to be a little kitten who sees himself as all ultimately powerful. Because as I grow physically, I still even got more growth in me. So it's about how you're thinking. This is about your consciousness state. And that's what's important. Your conscious state. Everything is about the journey through consciousness. Now we're going to go deeper into that spiritual self, because we sit down and talk about the chakras, meditation, movements, sound, vibrations. It is all to increase our ability and our understanding of who we are consciously. Ain't that something? I am, I feel, I do, I love, I speak, I see, I know. Each level of chakras in your system, bodies in your system, are levels of consciousness. And people are always loving the I am, but that is the lowest level of consciousness. You got to get to the point where you know you are a child of God, where you know you are gifted, you know you are talented, you know that you are intelligent, you know that you're beautiful. Get to the moment where you know the things about who you are and what God created. And so the same way that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 levels of energy, consciousness, there are levels. Each level has a, and here if you see now the colors don't match when you see it, right? However, each level of consciousness has a definition. And there are 7 levels of consciousness. And you realize the I am, that's the survival one. That is about eating, feeling safe, comfortable. It's about those things. And then you have the relationship, which is your senses, how and it's the bare basics of understanding your sight, sound, touch, hearing, smell. But those are the lower levels. And then you have that one which says self-esteem. And self-esteem is this one is pre-reflective, which is understanding your how you fit in the environment, how you feel about yourself. And then you have the one where when you really get touched, it's the transition. You're getting up there into that point with transformation. Sorry, you're getting up there to that point where you are moving from being a primitive or a individual that doesn't know how powerful they are, where you start beginning to realize how powerful you are. Now, kids are always believing that they're powerful, they're strong, they're super energetic, they could do incredible things. And to be able to keep that, sometimes the world may change that. And so if you always in preparation of your fall, which is falling deeper as a kid, it don't matter what age you are, you'll never leave, go lower to the point where going back down to the basic levels of consciousness. Kids start out at 4. Let's say that. Kids start out at 4. And then the world and how they produce the world around them, that changes. Ain't that something? Now, then you have that fifth one. And so you're getting up there where it's internal cohesion, where you're beginning to connect. You're beginning to connect with who you are, your awareness, your thoughts, your feelings, your motivations, all of that. You're beginning to really come in contact with who or your identity. These are the things you like. These are the things you don't like. These are the things you feel. These are the things that inspire you. Those things develop and grow when you get to that level 5. The level 5 or the fifth level of consciousness. And for some, that's the throat chakra, right? Where you speak life. You see that? Where you begin to speak and manifest and manifest the things that you want around you. That's a level of consciousness and awareness of your relationship in God. And then you have number 6. That's this. Where you see it? I see. Making a difference. The 6th level of consciousness is about making a difference. You start to really become connected to the people around you, to the things around you emotionally, and be wanting to move things according to what the world is. Because you understand that the unification. I see things that I need to manage to change. I see things that I need to develop, grow. I see things that I want to experience that I seek out to do. And then you have the top level of consciousness, which is pure service. Where and it doesn't mean that in your consciousness you don't have all 7. You have all 7 already. The level of each one may differ. The level of each one may differ. You might have more energy in your lower levels of your consciousness, one, two, and three, than you have in four. Four is tells how much you can love. Again, it connects to the chakras. Your level of consciousness connects to which power source has high energy and everything about you. If you can love and see a relationship where we said that God is consciousness and God is all things, then you are it definitely transformative, because love changes all things. How well you love something or how much you don't love it. That level. But you want to start there. And so it depends on, and some people love service, right? Some people, I got to give, I got to do, I got to produce, I got to make sure that the world is a great place for all. You don't become you go beyond just race. Like I'm a race man. And then you go beyond when you hit level 7 and you have high levels of service in terms of mental consciousness. You go from just being race driven to talking about humanity. You got to change humanity. Why? Because we are all spiritual beings from one consciousness. For me, my understanding is the minute I develop and help develop and this is the part where making a difference. This is my level 6 level of consciousness, man. If I can develop a generation of black youth who sees God in all things, not only will they change their people, but they will also change the world. They will change how humanity sees itself. That is the purpose of World of Alkebulan, to get you to understand not what is impossible, but to understand that you are possible. There is nothing that you cannot think about, meditate, create, and experience to make this world beautiful. That is the spiritual journey. If your faith, or whoever you are, because we have different faiths. We have Judaism, we have Christianity, we have Islam, we have Buddhism, we have all these isms and anities. And if they're not trying to make you to see how possible you are, not how hard things are, but how much that you can develop things and have things happen in your favor. When you know that you're possible and you're limitless, now you're walking to your greatest self. Hmm. Preparing for your fall. Preparing to fall deep into your understanding of how strong you really are, how great you really are, how intelligent you really are, how gifted you really are. Preparing for your fall is preparing for your greatest and best self. It's helping your friends prepare. When you're in that deeper level of consciousness, again, it's about being connected, and you want to be connected. And there are steps that we have that will allow you to do that. Prepare for your fall. Connecting to the higher level of consciousness, which is God. And to do that, you have to think differently. You got to think big. Think big. If your ideas of what you can do and produce, people say, "Oh, yeah, you can't do that. You're not thinking big enough." You're thinking things if you can, and if you can start small and grow, but keep allowing how you imagine the things that you can achieve to increase. And it says, great minds think very big. Now, think about this. We all come from the consciousness of God. God made a universe that is produced for the spiritual beings of who we are to exist in it. You cannot change one thing on the periodic system. If y'all know what the periodic table is, I should have had I didn't know I was going to talk about the periodic table, so I don't have a picture of it. But you can't change anything on the periodic table and the world still continues. If any of those numbers change by a decimal, a hundredth of a point, which is a hundred thousandths of a point, which is way down there, the universe won't exist anymore. God created an entire universe for you. He was thinking big. God said, I'm gonna create flowers that exude oxygen so you can always have oxygen coming to you. God was thinking big. God said, I'm gonna do precipitation where water comes out the sky, it fertilizes the land, it rinses you, it cleanses you, and then it disappears and come back up, and it comes back down, and it comes back up, and it comes back down. God was thinking big when he created the world for you. God said, man, I'm gonna create all the organs in your body to work together. They all vibrate. They can tell how healthy you are by the vibrations, by the tone of vibrations of your own organs. God was thinking big. And he created your consciousness to think just as big. Mm. What can you imagine about what you can create? That's when you know you're preparing for your fall season. Let's get that. Then motivate yourself. You don't need nobody to say, go ahead, go do it. No. When you know, when you're living in your knowing of who you are, when your love is profound, you can speak life, you can see a better world, a better you. You can see God in all things, and you know that you are connected to everything that God created because you're a part of the consciousness. You don't need nobody to motivate you. You motivate yourself. So, what do you really love? What do you do? What drives you? Ah, that makes you go, ah. For me, it's been World of Alkebulan. And people sometimes, if I'm listening to certain music and tunes and everything, people can tell when I'm highly motivated because I don't stop. I know what my assignment is. I feel my assignment is, and I think big and I get it. I try to get it done, whether I succeed or not. That's the journey of increasing my consciousness. I don't whether about oh did I win? I worry about did I give everything I had to understand what is who I am in this space. Winning is the byproduct, so I always win. Then you got to believe in yourself. You got to believe that you are a manifestation of divine consciousness. You are a product of the thoughts of God. Mm. You are a product of the thoughts of God. Why wouldn't you want to believe in yourself? Or why would you allow someone not to have you believe in who you are? If you could sit down and look at somebody who says something about you and you look at them and says, I am a product of the thoughts of God. Shoo away. I believe in myself too much to let you tear me down. And you have to let people tear you down. They can't tear you down. You have to let them. So you got to completely believe and buy into who you are, almost becoming an entrepreneur of change. An entrepreneur. I'm a business man. Man, please, I'm working me. I'm working for the greater good of me so I can experience the greater good of God and I can help develop the greater good of God in this world. Mm. And you set yourself goals. What do you want to achieve? Today, when I woke up, I sat down and said, I want one of my first goals. I want to give a lesson on how to fall deeper into you, preparing for your fall. And I woke up laying there and just relaxing. And I heard it and I said, this is fall. This is September. This is my birthday month. This is my birthday month. I am falling deeper into myself. My birthday is tomorrow. Yeah, 9/11. I don't normally tell people. So whoever hears it now, you know it. And so I'm setting goals. And yesterday I was going through all the goals that I'm going to set for the next 365 days. What people say, he does so much. Yeah, because I'm falling into my season of transition and growth and development. And then spend your time wisely. You got to be accountable. You got to know what to do, when to do, how to do it. Some people sit down and all they do is just go, 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 go. They don't spend their time wisely. When you're preparing to fall for your fall season, your season of falling deeper with inside yourself, you got to organize your time. You got to make sure that every nanosecond that you spend is spent correctly so that you can manifest out of you what is supposed to grow. Not what the world is forcing to grow out of you, but what is supposed to grow out of you. Prepare for your fall season. It's the first week of going into the second week of September. Are you preparing? I am. And then you got to take new challenges. Man, I got some new ideas that I've been trying to do, and we're gonna put it to work. We're gonna put it to work, and we're gonna see what it do. We're gonna make life do what it do. I got a couple of programs and events that I'm doing, and I strive for and put work for and fight for new challenges. That's how you prepare for your fall season. We ain't gonna talk about winter yet. We'll talk about winter later, and it's a beautiful winter. It's what? It's cold. It's beautiful. But right now we're in our fall season. In your fall season to prepare for your falling, your transitioning. Let go of the things that happened in the past failures, past doubts, things that didn't work for you. Let it go. Let go of those things. They don't serve you in your present. You can't be your greatest self if you're still holding on to things that happened behind you. Last but not least, take time to discover your strengths. This is about you becoming your greatest self. Preparing for your fall is about you becoming your greatest self. It's deeper transition. Mm. And to do that, no, you do not judge the day or what you accomplish by the harvest that you reap. Because some people don't get, you judge it by the seed you plant. You plant a great seed, the harvest is beautiful. You plant a bad seed, mm-mm. So it's not the harvest you're getting, it's the seed you plant. And that's how you think. That is the level of consciousness that you exist in. What are you putting in to help you see yourself in a divine light even more? So take the time to enjoy all of your seasons of change, all of your seasons of growth, all of your seasons of development. We may be back in school, but for some of us again, classes always in session, especially at Alkebulan. Why? Because our focus is the rise of the African within. Hopefully, this gives you some direction on how to handle your fall season, how to prepare for your fall season. The changes around you are affected more by the change within you. Mm. Let that settle for a little while. And if you can continue to fall deeper inside yourself to find who you are in God and share it with the world, we will watch the African within you rise. With that, I say one love.